We'll start in just a minute. We're having a school board meeting up here in the front left, so we'll have to wait just a minute. Sorry, y'all. I had to call y'all out. That was fun.
Which one with the mic?
All right, the budget. So we're going to start the Metro Codes budget hearing. We're here with Director Hall and his staff. If you would introduce your folks you brought with you, and we've got, see what we got on the schedule for you. We've got 15 minutes on the schedule for you. Hopefully we can get some answers to some questions quick after that, and you have the floor.
Sir, thank you, Chair Roten. I'd also like to thank all the members of the Budget and Finance Committee for the opportunity to speak here. I'm Byron Hall, currently the Interim Director of the Department of Codes and Building Safety. With me this afternoon, to my right, I have our Deputy Director, Brady Rich. To my left is Assistant Director, Alicia Swan. And out in the audience, we have with us our Public Information Officer, Will Dodd, also is a Special Assistant to the Director, and Assistant Director Shannon Roberts, who is the Assistant Director over our inspection services. And I'm happy to announce that the Codes Department will be able to operate within the parameters of the Mayor's proposed operating budget. I'd also like to thank
I'm sorry. Sorry, I just had to clap for that.
I'd also like to thank Kristen Wilson and Kelly Flannery and their teams. We certainly appreciate the support of the Mayor's office and the Finance Department. And I'd also like to thank my entire staff for the hard work they do daily to keep Nashville's buildings and community neighborhoods safe. In short, our mission at Codes is to issue construction and use-related permits and perform safety-related inspections. We administer the Title 16 of the Metropolitan Code related to building construction and exterior property areas. We also administer and enforce Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code, which is the zoning code, governs the use of property as well as size, height, and locations of building on the property. In the last year, we've responded to over 37,000 building and property violation complaints submitted via the hub, phone, and email, and responded to countless inquiries regarding zoning and short-term rental uses. Our Building and Trades Division have performed over 145,000 inspections this year, building, electrical, plumbing, and mechanical. Our the fleet program that we implemented a couple of years ago has been a huge part of that as well. Being able to make sure that our inspectors all have a vehicle every day. The downtime went from what possibly could be extensive to next to nothing. If we get down a car, we can typically have a car the next day. And we've also issued 67,000 building permits, over 67,000 this year. Our employees provide essential services, and we have been 100% public-facing from the start of COVID, the COVID-19 pandemic, and throughout its various stages. And because of this, we've continued to explore and find new opportunities to try and be innovative and improve our services. In addition to improving our landlord registration and STRP online payment programs, we've also expanded our online alarm registration renewal payment program by staggering the annual renewal dates and sending out automated renewal notices to customers through CityWorks. The alarm permits are now due 1 year from the date of their issuance, as opposed to them all coming due on April the 1st. Not only is staggering the system, it's beneficial to our customers, but staggering that expiration date, it also spreads out the workload for the staff, so the workload doesn't all hit at one time. We've also added alarms to the Hub Nashville site so that customers can submit questions and apply for new or renew their alarm permit through Hub Nashville. And with our recent campaign promoting online payment, we're pleased to say that the percentages of both residential and commercial alarm permits have increased, with people being able to renew and pay online. And we continue to encourage our citizens to save money and save time and pay online. That's our campaign slogan, I think. And due to the success of a program we implemented almost a year ago now, our electrical division's NES release process program, we're now working on providing a gas meter release program as well. Currently, the gas meters are done by hand on paper tickets, but soon our inspectors will be able to approve gas meter releases, and these releases will be sent to Piedmont directly through CityWorks and through our permit workflow process. Once Piedmont is able to utilize our CityWorks program with the information of our inspectors, communications will be greatly improved between the utility and codes, and customers will be able to receive gas meters much faster. These changes will also save valuable time and effort for all parties and free up more time for our staff to focus on routine and on-site inspections. As always, I'd like to give special thanks to Keith Durbin and Amy Neal, because without their continuous support from ITS and the CityWorks team, these changes wouldn't be possible. We also expect to come in under budget at year-end and will again achieve savings as best we can without compromising our staff or customer needs. On the revenue side, year-to-date, we've collected over $32 million. This exceeds expenses year-to-date by over $20 million. We anticipate revenue collections of over $38 million by year-end, and this is some $4 million over our FY23 annual revenue projection. For FY23, we project that we will issue over 15,000 building permits, and we further project that the construction value of those permits through the end of the fiscal year will once again set a new record and exceed $5.8 billion. In 2000, we had 107 positions. Today, we have 161. The value of Nashville's construction growth has skyrocketed from $1.3 billion to over $5.5 billion yearly. In short, the value of construction growth has increased by 308% in the last 23 years, and the codes department staffing level has grown by 50%. So we're beginning to move in the right direction. A consultant study completed in 2018 recommended that we have 6.5 property standards inspectors for every 100,000 citizens. With Nashville's over 700,000, that would be around 45 inspectors. And we currently have 26. The fiscal year 24 recommendation of 8 property standards inspectors puts us over the 75% mark. That's as we continue to grow and expand our community outreach. This will also allow our property standards division to be more proactive as opposed to reactive, and working in conjunction with the Office of Nightlife and Metro Police. 2 of the new inspectors will focus on response times, data collection, citations, and court participation in response to noise complaints from citizens. There's also a study that we completed last year that's posted on our website that gives a bigger overview of our property standards division and some of the new outreach that we're doing. Over $2.3 million is recommended for our budget in FY24, and we're truly grateful for the 35 positions awarded last year to be fully funded in our upcoming budget. The FY24 recommendations are essential and supported by an independent consultant. These positions will help us to execute and expand the delivery of our core functions and for the improvement of our neighborhoods and communities. I'd also like to say it's an honor and privilege to work with this governing body and the mayor's office and to serve as Metro Code's interim director. And with that, we're happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Councilmember Sledge, I saw your hand first.
Thank y'all, and thank you for the work you're doing. I want to give a special note of gratitude. I have noticed when we've had sort of severe violations, we've been working, but typically construction sites working on hours that are prohibited. I have noticed that stop work orders have gone out more quickly, and I think that makes a big difference for not just the action, but the community seeing those things posted. So I wanted to thank the department especially for that. My question was about you alluded to it earlier, working with the Office of Nightlife, these additional positions, especially about noise violations. Can you talk about one thing, it's kind of the Councilmember Stiles question. One thing we've been talking about a lot is night and weekend violations. Do these positions, can you talk a little bit more about how these positions coordinate with the Office of Nightlife, and if those positions are what I'm going to call a C shift, like a separate shift from what a typical sort of daytime shift would be?
Well, and to be quite honest, currently we're still in the planning stages. These are new positions, so they're going to be focused on, I think, repeat offenders. That real-time inspections are still going to have to be performed by Metro PD. I think where our people will come in will be in the event that we have repeat offenders, we can help with the prosecution. That'll save some time from the police department, not having necessarily to make court appearances and things of this nature. But in all honesty, it's kind of in its infancy right now, so we're still working out the details of how that's all going to come together. There's some meetings scheduled in the coming weeks, and I'll have more answers then.
Great. If you could just follow up with us as you have those, I'd appreciate it.
Sure.
I think the body would too. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Sledge. Councilmember Benedict, I saw your hand. You're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry, I was trying to say Councilmember Sledge got me. Thanks.
That's it. Councilmember Allen, you were the last hand I saw. Thanks.
Thank you. Just to ask one more question on another offense that happens only at night is dark skies, which is not nearly as big a deal as noise, but it's something that I just was wondering if there's a way once a month somebody could just go out and round up those complaints that are coming in. This neighbor's light is shining in my window. Can't we get them to redirect it? That kind of thing.
We're currently doing that with the existing staff that we have. It happens typically about 2 or 3 times a month, and we're utilizing the staff currently in place pretty much on a volunteer basis. We'll wait till we get 2 or 3 complaints and then send somebody out one night to take care of all of those. And I don't have the statistics with me today, but I gathered the statistics the other day for the first quarter. I think there was like 37 complaints that have been addressed in that. So we're actively working those as they come in now.
That's great. That's great. I'll bake them a cake. I really appreciate that. And then are there, we've talked a lot about property standards, but are y'all in good shape position-wise now for plan inspection just for the building plan approval process, or is that something that there's still a backlog on?
I'm sorry, and I don't know if I understand the question.
So when someone wants to get plans approved so that they can start, get a building permit to start building, do you have the personnel you need to move that process along quickly?
We pretty much have the personnel we need to move that process along. We're currently, and Brady can speak a little bit more about this than.
We're currently averaging about 6 to 8 weeks, which has been our normal time frame. We recently promoted John Tyler to Chief Plans Examiner, so we will be hiring a new plans examiner to kind of fill his role. He'll still be reviewing plans, but we'll bring in another plans examiner to kind of help him out, so that way he can focus on managing the staff and different things like that.
And is 6 to 8 weeks? Are you getting a satisfactory response from your customers that's suits them fine, or?
Yes, ma'am. That's been our normal. Okay. Now, every project doesn't take 6 to 8 weeks. That's just kind of our average from big to little. We, depending on the type of project, we could turn a tenant finish out around in a week or 2, just depending on the size of the project. So we're, we focus on trying to gauge the projects on their size, so that way we can get the ones out sooner that are able to be. And if it's a larger project, those are the ones that typically may take 6 to 8 weeks.
I see a hand in the back. Councilmember Henderson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair Roten. My question is somewhat of a follow-up on Councilor Allen's about plans review and development services. And when this council came into office, we were kind of moving towards what seemed to be a one-stop shop kind of development services routine. And as I have been sort of tracking, and now we're going to have some changes there, but, sidewalk review, say, as that was, triggered based on the kind of the online tool. There used to be somebody there who was well-versed in that and, stormwater and kind of could go all through that at one time. I certainly understand under COVID times that changed. A lot of that went online, and there's a lot of positives about that. But can you kind of speak to project flow and staffing and just sort of the concept of development services and kind of the multi-department touch, how that works now, kind of pre-COVID, during, post-COVID, and kind of what the plan is there for that? Because if 6 to 8 weeks, as you shared, and that there are some that are less than that, do you have a target time for that for different types of development? So you have single and two family by right development, go pull that permit, then you have the larger stuff. And do you have goals from a time perspective that are aligned with staffing for each of your development types, please?
For the 1 and 2 family, those do not trigger a plan review on our part unless they're over 5,000 square feet. So from a codes perspective, those can be turned around in a day. It's just as long as they meet the zoning requirements, the site plan requirements for us, those will be approved the day that the application is created. In terms of the one-stop shop, if we had enough size in our building, we could implement that. Again, right now, everybody's kind of stretched thin on the amount of space that we have for each department. So what formerly was the Development Services Center is now kind of turned into a codes floor, and it has a couple of planning folks manning their front staff because that's how much we've all grown. So I would like to get back to that at some point. The only folks that really aren't in the building at this point is a representative from NDOT, and we could fit them in if they want to send somebody back over. But water services and stormwater are all in the building. Codes is in the building. Planning is in the building. So NDOT is really the only kind of department that hasn't transitioned back from COVID yet. And a lot of that has to do with space, throughout the building.
And could I just, from the transition back from COVID, so how long would you say that no one from NDOT has been represented in person for plans review? And is it just that then that person does it online? And who is that person now? Or was that person most recently?
Sorry. They haven't had anyone back since COVID started. And they have 2 or 3 different reviewers that review plans. And in order to kind of help out, we are looking, and this goes back to CWorks and ITS, we are looking at implementing a new plan review program software that will allow all the departments to review one set of plans they can submit to one intake portal. And so that way all the departments can look at the same plans, and as of where now they're submitting to us, the fire marshal's office, to water services, to NDOT. So that is one of the big things with this software upgrade with CWorks that we are doing. That is going to allow us to be more streamlined in the plan review process because everyone will be looking at the same plans.
I appreciate that. And just the timeline on that and how that, intersects with your kind of related departments. I've understood that's been in progress for a while. Can you just speak to whether this kind of budget reflects the path that you're on for that, and when you propose to have that or hope to have that fully implemented, please?
We're hoping to in the near future, and actually part of this budget will include the development services staff for the development concierge, which is we're going to have three employees come in and assist Steve Mishu, and we're going to be proactive in terms of how we look at city works and see where different projects are in the process. So if they've been sitting for a while, we're going to research those to make sure that they haven't slipped through the cracks. We're going to see if they're still active or if they're not. So that'll allow us to become a lot more proactive on how we review the projects instead of reactive at this point.
Okay, and then last question, if I may, Chair Roten. So with Mr. Mishu and historically, like the stormwater touch, I know we have talked about historically when you talk to home builders and otherwise that that stormwater touch was a bit of the pinch point. And then I know we staffed maybe 6 additional staff, and I know that's on the stormwater side of the house, but again, where these processes sort of converge. What you were just speaking to just then, is that kind of part of that effort to improve that flow? Because I know Councilor Allen will be aware of this, but as we talk kind of big picture about our stormwater regs and tree preservation and, who gets what touch as they're entering through this process, right? Like if they're 800 additional impervious, then they, go to the infill regs versus not. And then that, folks, to be frank, have been gaming that system, right? Like, so they don't put in their full driveway until after the fact, or the pool gets added later. Fences affect stormwater, some of those things that we don't traditionally permit through codes, right? We don't permit fences, we don't permit driveways. And so we've been talking a lot about that because we as council members, that's a lot of the stuff that we hear about, like everything was fine until they built that fence, or everything was okay and then they came in and they put this driveway in, right? And driveways intersect with NDOT, I get it. And the other thing that intersects with stormwater. So I'm not saying it's all on y'all other than just sort of the administration of development services. But can you kind of speak to, I guess maybe just flesh out a little bit more about what you're talking about with Mr. Mishu's work? Because I think the hope was that with more people staffed into stormwater in this past budget, that we would get to a place where we could kind of even out the touches that everybody got, have a more granular level of, I just feel like in the midst of COVID, we kind of lost our way on that a little bit. So can you just flesh that out a little bit more as to kind of staffing and process and what that's going to need, if not in this budget, but the next?
What this would entail, his team would be kind of looking to the statuses of the projects, more so in terms of where they are in their review, kind of what stages there are there. The departments will still look at their individual requirements. I don't know if we'll get to where those folks will be looking at the overall comprehensive project in terms of the impervious surface compared to where the fence is going in the pool, different things like that. That would have to be later down the road, and that would be a more concentrated effort, I think, on all the departments to kind of dedicate a person from each team to kind of be on that, to where they're looking for those certain things. But that would not fall under what we have for this development team that'll be under Steve.
Thank you, Councilmember Henderson. Seeing no other hands, Director Hall, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here and your team. We really appreciate everything you do for the city. And if we have any questions, we'll be getting in touch with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Rowe.
Thank you.